Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling with Mac, Edition 3.
Wait a minute.
What the hell do you want? What the hell do you want now?
Why do you get to open it?
Because the title is Wrestling with Mac. Are you Mac? No.
Not Mac, but I tried to wrestle with Mac, and I guess that title doesn't mean that either.
That's
so what
weird.
does the title mean?
No, you are not wrestling with me. That's just weird. No.
Then can I open the show?
Fine, Kyle. Have it your way. You do the introduction. You see how easy it is.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another scintillating edition of Wrestling with Mac. I am your host, Kyle, a.k.a. Ready K13, and I'm joined with Mac, a.k.a. Jamie Lee Mac. Mac, how you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. Just that, trying to steal my thunder here.
Do you want your thunder back? Would you like to have your thunder back?
Yes, I would like some thunder. I'd like some rain. I want the snow gone.
You can have the thunder back, okay?
Good.
You can have it back.
Good. I want my thunder back. Anyway, speaking of thunders, I guess you could call it thunders, Monday Night Raw. This past Monday night, March 17th edition, St. Patrick's Day edition. Very, very good. Very, very solid. WrestleMania 30 is looking really, really good. And, to kick off this show here, let's start off with the build-up between John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Now, it looks like they're basing this entire thing off of Cena's legacy and how they're making it seem like if Cena doesn't win this match, it's going to damage him a lot. And that kind of frightens me a little bit because for some reason that kind of makes me believe that Cena is going to win at WrestleMania and he doesn't need the win. Wyatt definitely needs it. But yeah, just for some reason, that just leads me to believe that Cena will win, and that just doesn't need to happen.
Well, I agree Cena doesn't need to win, but Bray Wyatt doesn't necessarily need to win either. I mean, just the fact that he's in a Mania match with Cena is going to give him enough credibility.
Yeah.
As long as it's a good match, it's not a basic Cena squash match.
Exactly. I mean, they definitely need to give this match, a credible amount of time. And, okay, but, I will say Wyatt is, one of the current masters of the mic. Because the promo that he cut on Cena on the Tron, I thought that was absolutely great. The fact that he was actually wearing Cena's merchandise as he was doing it, I thought that was tremendous. Referring to Nikki as his plastic girlfriend, I thought that was just the fact that he kind of squeezed that in there. I mean, that was definitely something I wasn't expecting, but I thought that it was a I guess a nice addition to it.
Now, the thing I'm scared of about this match, if Bray Wyatt wins, what exactly happens? And then if Cena wins, what exactly happens? This can't be just it. This cannot be the climax of this feud. I mean, they're building a story for something. I'm worried they're just going to try to have a match and just have Cena move on and do something else. I'm concerned if they know what they're doing after this.
I'm thinking that we're probably going to get a rematch of some sort, maybe at Extreme Rules or something. But yeah, really, I mean, it kind of really does make you think, if Wyatt wins, where does he go? If Cena wins, obviously that really doesn't do much for him. But
in the story, something needs to happen.
Exactly.
Given the story they're using, nothing can't just happen. Something has to happen.
exactly. And, just from, like, the way everything is looking, it looks like it's going to... I think it's definitely going to lead to a rematch of some sort. Definitely at Extreme Rules, maybe Last Man Standing, Street Fight, who knows. But as for the match at Mania, it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to. And I'm really hoping that Cena doesn't win. Because, like, again,
the only thing I'm concerned about is obviously Bray Wyatt. He's had some good matches with the Shield, but that was with Luke Harper and Eric Rowan in 3-on-3 matches.
He
did. I'm worried about.
He did.
I know Bray Wyatt. Go ahead.
He did have that really, really, really good match with Bryan at the Rumble.
He did, and which worries me. Like Bray Wyatt, he's been very. I don't want to say consistent. He's not been very consistent when it comes to in-ring skill. I mean, go back to his match with Kane. That was anything but a good match.
Ring of Fire. Yeah, that was.
Then you go to his match. Then you go to this match against Bryan, and that was a great match. So I mean, I'm worried. Here at Mania, he needs to pull out all his stops, and this needs to be his best match.
Oh yeah.
Against John Cena. And obviously that goes both ways. Cena can't just have a generic. I'm gonna get the shit beat out of me for 10 minutes, and then come back and win. This needs to be. I don't want to say a 5-star, but it needs to be the Bray Wyatt's best match.
It needs.
That's what's going to determine whether this is good. That's going to determine if this is going to be a good thing for Wyatt or bad thing. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. Fact alone, in a match with Cena and at this Mania is rubbing off. But he needs to have his best match.
Yeah.
Period.
I do think it's going to be a little bit hard to top the match he had with Bryan. Not that Cena is a bad, okay, I'm not saying that Cena is bad in the ring, like, at all, but I do think it'll be a little bit tough to top his match with Bryan from the Rumble in Philly. But yeah, I do think in this one that Wyatt needs to, these guys need to have like an all-out, drag-it-out brawl. I think
they need to bring their. They both need to bring their.
Yeah.
There can't be any slouching.
Yeah. Yeah, or else it's going to fall a little bit.
For this to be productive for Bray Wyatt, it needs to be their best match. Or at least attempting to be the best match.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to win at all. Even if Wyatt wins, like, yeah, congratulations, you just won a jerk match. He won the match against Kane. He won against Kane at SummerSlam, and nobody remembers that match. So, Bray Wyatt, this match to do what I believe it's intended to do is to give him a big rub from Cena. It needs to be his best match. He needs to pull out all the stops. It's not going to make it a break because I think he can recover, but this is his chance to make it. Otherwise, it's going to be a long hill to climb.
Oh yeah, it's gonna yeah. So it's kind of like he's almost reached the mountaintop, and if he doesn't deliver in this match, he's.
Don't get me wrong. I know he can do it. He can come back. I just don't want to see him have to come back. I think he can pull it off at Mania. And don't get it wrong, whether he wins or loses, it's not going to bury him. He just needs to have his best showing.
Yeah, definitely.
Against he wins, he doesn't lose. But the match needs to end cleanly. But it would matter who wins.
Oh, yeah.
For this to be productive.
Yeah.
And Cena doesn't really need to win this at all. Let's face it, this is just a match for him to get on the card. That's all this is for him.
Oh, yeah, really. But in this case, it's good for both sides because, Cena has a match on Mania and Wyatt has a match on Mania, but it's with John fucking Cena. So, anyways, moving on here. So it was announced that there will be a triple threat match at WrestleMania between Batista, Randy Orton, and either Daniel Bryan or Triple H, because Triple H announced at the start of Raw saying that if he defeats Daniel Bryan, he will be in the triple threat at WrestleMania. And the same thing goes for Bryan if he beats Triple H. And this, I think, is a very
definitely. Don't mistake it as any chance that Triple H will win. Triple H still has no chance of winning that. Bryan's winning that match. But what they're doing
Yeah.
It's simply trying to make it less obvious. I mean, yeah, we always try to make things way too obvious. Is it obvious Bryan's still going to win? Yes. But are they trying to make us obvious? Yes. So kudos to WWE for trying. If anyone who thinks there's any chance in hell of Triple H winning that, WWE are not going to have about that with 3 heels.
And that is what I've been saying ever since Batista won the damn Rumble. They're not going to have Randy Orton and Batista, just those two, one-on-one in the main event. It's heel versus heel in the main event of WrestleMania 30. Not going to happen. I hate to quote,
exactly.
And, I hate to quote him, but Phil Brooks, CM Punk, whoever you want to call him, he even said on his DVD saying that at WrestleMania, the best bad guy, a.k.a. heel, should face the best good guy, a.k.a. the babyface. You're not going to have 2 heels against each other in the main event. That just doesn't work.
Or 3 heels.
Or, 3, let alone 3 heels. That's just not going to work.
Put it this way, guys. If you have any doubt, let's go back in history. The last time we were teased to have a triple threat all-heel match was Vengeance 04 with Angle, Lesnar, and Show. At the time, Angle was coming back. So when he left, he was a heel.
3.
So it was unsure if he'd come back as a heel or face. And that was the last time it was even teased to have a all 3 triple threat heel match.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. Because Angle came back as a face. So there's no chance of this being a triple threat heel match.
No way. Now, with that stipulation being added, this adds like a whole new window of possibilities. Because I've seen folks say that, what if Bryan and Hunter, their match ends up in like a no contest, then that way it'll be a fatal 4-way. That, I wouldn't mind seeing that, but I think it's highly unlikely.
The reason why I see it, I had someone, I don't know her handle, so I apologize for not giving you a shout out, but she was talking about it. I mean, Twitter, we were talking about it. The other thing I think that makes it unlikely that we'll see a fatal 4-way is simply because to do that, you basically have to make one of your main event Mania matches pointless to do it.
Exactly. And this is
I don't think they do.
Yeah, and this is WrestleMania 30. They're going to make sure that every match counts. Every match matters.
Well, not every match, but they're going to make sure all their main event matches count. And this is one of their main event matches. So they're not going to make it pointless.
Yeah, so, I mean, like...
Now, granted, there is a window of opportunity because they did basically make the main event WrestleMania 27 pointless. So they've done it before. So, I mean, there is a window of possibility.
Oh, yeah.
But would I like to see it happen? I would, but I would be scared to see how they'll go about doing it.
Exactly. And, but...
The only way I think they could do it, it makes sense, is if you have Triple H and Bryan both like get knocked out,
Yeah.
where they can't enter the 10. I know it's not a last man standing match, but the referee does do the 10 count crap. So let's get knocked out. I think that'd be the only way they could do it. That way they could build off the fact that they could instill that Triple H has some kind of respect for Bryan for going with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And it would make them both. It would also develop a story with the Fatal 4-Way, how these guys basically couldn't stand up 20 minutes ago, and now they have to wrestle again. So it would instill a more of a overcoming the odds with Bryan. So it would make for a better story if they did that. But I don't think it's necessary.
No, and also, I mean, like, you know what? I think that we should just face it, and Bryan is going to... He is finally going to overcome the odds after all of this time. He is going to overcome 3/4 of Evolution, and he's going to become champion. I think that is what is going to happen. We are.
Now, if it doesn't happen, I will finally agree with the IWC that it's complete bullshit, because nothing else makes sense for me. Anything else besides Bryan finally getting that aha moment, would be a complete waste of time, and they would have completely wasted everything they did from SummerSlam to Mania.
Exactly. And you know what? If, and I'm saying this is a big if, and I know it's not going to happen, but if Triple H actually makes himself fucking champion, Triple H is my all-time favorite. That is when I just might hop on the bandwagon and say, okay, Triple H is in for himself. I will finally hop on that bandwagon.
I don't see it being a high possibility, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. But if he doesn't win, everybody who says that he buries everybody can finally shut the fuck up about it.
Hold up, I must say this before. People say that he buries everybody. Did they not hear the line from Triple H when he said, "We are the best at what we do on this planet"? He basically put Bryan on his level. Yeah, I get he went back and beat the shit out of him, but he said that. He wouldn't have said that for no reason.
Oh.
He's trying to give Bryan a rub. If people would actually listen.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of, Bryan getting the shit kicked out of him, that ending segment was fantastic.
It was fantastic, but my only complaint, I said this on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, Radicate13, I think it went on a bit too long.
Maybe it went on maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes too long, but anyways, I thought that it was great, and, now this gives Bryan even more of a reason to kick Triple H's ass at Mania and finally become champion. I thought that it was great.
Oh, yeah.
It was great. It was great build-up. That is how you build up momentum towards your biggest show of the year.
Now, one thing I want to mention, I don't know if you're done talking about Triple H and Bryan, but I want to kind of swing things over briefly to Raw.
Okay.
I know I spend a lot of time bitching about WWE. I spend a lot of time bitching about Raw. This last episode of Raw had absolutely nothing to bitch about. Everything had a purpose. Even Goldust and Fandango had a purpose. The most random-ass match I've ever seen in my life had a purpose. It was building to the Battle Royals. I mean, from top to bottom, start to end, that match had productivity and it had a point. If you do not like that episode of Raw, or you do not appreciate that episode of Raw, you need to rethink what you want from WWE. Because they gave, whether you like the stories or not, you cannot deny that they were building what they were building, and they were finally doing their damn job.
Exactly.
Whether you like what they're doing or not, you cannot deny that they're doing it. They're doing their fucking job. And if you don't appreciate that, you need to rethink what you want.
And they're doing it right.
Exactly. Like, I know it's all up to, like, obviously some people would rather see someone else in the main event, all that good stuff. I get that. I'm not talking about that. But you cannot deny that WWE Creative did their job on Monday.
And they did it right.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you do not appreciate that, you need to rethink what you want.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And, what was I going to say? Oh, do you want to just briefly mention about the whole Shield and Kane thing?
I do, but I don't, because I know there's probably going to be more development to it, but I do want to mention this. Turning the Shield face is the best decision they can make, because now it will make more sense when it's split.
Yep, and it buys them a few more months of being the Shield.
Exactly, because it was obvious that they were getting stale and WWE was teasing the split, but it wasn't the right time.
No, not yet.
Like, it would have been nice to see Triple Threat at Mania, but if they're going to do Triple Threat at Mania, they should have split it at Elimination Chamber. So, I mean,
yeah,
they did not have enough time to split and have a productive feud. I'm glad they turned them face, because now they could probably even make it to SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, and then
it might be a stretch, but I think they can get to SummerSlam.
Yep, and then that way you can build up Roman Reigns as the next big star.
Exactly, and the other logic behind turning them face, because now Dean Ambrose, who we all know is going to be heel. We can all tell he's going to be a heel.
Yeah.
Now when he turns on the Shield, it won't be a heel turn on a heel. It'll be a heel turn on faces.
Yep.
So it all makes sense now. Like before, like how are you going to turn on the Shield? How are you going to have Seth Rollins turn on the Shield? Like they're already heel. He's a heel, so are they just both heels now, but separate? The only way you can break a faction is if you turn one face, one heel. It's the only way you can logically break a faction.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they turned them face, because now and I think the Shield is going to be a lot more entertaining as faces, too. And they're going to add a new element to the Authority angle, too, because think about it now, they don't have the muscle.
Yep. Yeah. So.
I mean, I think it's going to add a nice little layer to the Authority angle.
Yeah. As for my take on it, basically exactly what you said, I think is good. It buys them a few more months as, being a unit. And as for their role at Mania, I'm expecting a Shield versus Kane with two other guys somehow. Not exactly sure who Kane's partners might be. But, Shield being faces is a really, really good move. Yes.
Well, the thing I could see them doing is having Rollins and Reigns versus Kane and Rusev.
That could be a possibility. I think someone tweeted me last night saying that that they either heard or they think that it's going to be the Shield versus Kane in the Ascension, which I don't see happening because the Ascension, that's 2 weeks is not enough to build up the Ascension, who is from NXT up to the main roster. 2 weeks is not enough time to build them up as to where they should belong.
Introduce them to
Exactly, and that is too short to try and build them up as to where they should belong on the Mania card.
Or I could see them, if they don't do that, I could see either an Ambrose versus Kane match or a Reigns versus Kane match. I think Ambrose is going to defend the U.S. Championship. I think that's what they're going to make him do. And I think we're probably going to get a tag team match with Rollins and Reigns. If we don't, the only other thing I could think of them doing is having the Wyatt join the Authority and having the Wyatt family and Kane versus the Shield. Obviously minus Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, which I would find that to be funny because it's almost like Kane is the reason why, the Wyatts are the reason why Kane went all suit. Because after he came back, he turned into Corporate Kane.
So, I mean, it's going to be, I don't want to say too much because, I mean, obviously we have 3 weeks to go. They could do a lot of things, but they're going to do something. And I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't know everything. I mean, I'm a genius, but I don't know everything.
Yeah. Alrighty, folks. Well, that is about all of the time that we have for this week. Kyle, is there any final thoughts that you want to give out?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter, RandyK13. I don't tweet a lot, and I don't like people. Also,
there you go.
I'm contemplating. I don't like that James took the hosting seat back, so I'm contemplating taking my ball and going home, not coming back.
All right, there, Philip. Okay. Anyways, folks, you can follow me on Twitter at Jamie Lee Mack, and also do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, youtube.com/EVTV Productions. You can check out Wrestling with Mac, CNC Reviews, where Caleb hosts that, and I'm on there with him, and he also has his own solo shit on there. I think currently he has his True Detective review on there of, I think, the first season, if I'm not mistaken.
First season, yep.
Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it from me.
And if you're listening, there's something that's been eating at you that you want to hear us talk about. You just want someone to talk about.
Yeah.
Put in the comment section, and we might make a topic video about it, or we might mention it in next week's show.
There you go. Alrighty. Well, with that being said, Kyle, is there any final words at all? I know I already asked that. Any final words?
Any final words? Well, let me take a swig of water for the unemployed man real fast. Then we can call it a day.
You can do that. All right. Alrighty, folks. Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Wrestling with Mac. We'll see you right back here next week. He's Kyle. I'm Jamie. See you then.
It's your Mac. Stay in character.
Fuck you. How's that for in character?